So, Dennis, what do you miss and not miss about living in California?
Oh, let's see. What do I miss? I miss old friends. I miss camaraderie. I miss a wide selection of fair to excellent multi-ethnic restaurants. I don't know. That's probably I obviously I miss the weather. I mean that's that's descended to the level of mythology now. Southern California weather, of course. But what don't I miss? Well, now we get into a really long list. I don't miss the air quality or lack thereof. I certainly don't miss the traffic. I don't miss the noise pollution and the light pollution, none of which anyone would be aware of if they live there for a long period of time, because it sort of deadens the senses. When you get out of it, of course, the only way you can do that in Southern California is travel deep into the Mojave Desert. Then you realize, how much you've been sensorially deprived. But Los Angeles is, what can I say? It's a megalopolis gone mad, and I don't miss any of that.
Why did you move?
Well, Initially I moved because my wife fell ill. We have a son who lives in West Tennessee, and my wife is not getting better, and she wanted to be close to grandchildren. I can do what I do from anywhere. So I said, fine, let's go ahead and bite the bullet and do it. I mean, I wasn't happy about it, but I have to say, 5 years after the fact, I'm glad we made the move. I mean, I'm in L.A. all the time. In fact, I'll be there next week for a month.
What do you love and hate about growing older?
Well, I guess first and foremost, I love the fact that you don't give a damn as much. As you probably know, I'm currently writing a biography of Bob Dylan, and his Academy Award-winning song from 2001 has kind of become my mantra. I used to care, but things have changed. That's one of the great things about getting older. You're not concerned as much about how you're perceived by others. You can go ahead and be yourself. What don't I like about it? I don't know. The beginnings of arthritis, an ever-widening waistline, not as much get up and go. Although, as a caveat to that, I'd have to say you learn how to use your diminishing resources much better and with much more effect, I think, as you grow older than you did when you were in your 30s and 40s, when you go out and waste whole weeks dipping into profligacy and dissipation.
Did you ever buy into the myth that California, in particular Los Angeles, was the place to make your dreams come true?
Well, I was born there, Luke. So I'm not sure I ever bought into that. There are those among my friends who maintain that I was a cynic by the time I turned 10 years old. But I guess the one-line answer to that is, do you believe in Camelot or Brigadoon? And Yeah, at some level, I suppose I believe in fairy tales, but kind of makes you feel good. But Los Angeles is, or the Los Angeles that Hollywood has painted for the rest of the world is no more substantive and real than Brigadoon.
What's Brigadoon?
Oh, Brigadoon was it was a musical from, I don't know, the 50s, 60s, and Camelot's the same way. I mean, they're both these make-believe utopias that are there for the life of a three-act play, and then they're gone. And that's kind of how I regard Los Angeles.
Do you still read the Los Angeles Times, and if so, what do you think?
Well, I look at it online once or twice a week, see if there's anything worth reading beyond Steve Lopez's column. There rarely is, I'm sorry to say. And when I'm in town, of course, I stay with people who take the Times, and I do read it or look at it on a daily basis over breakfast, and it's diminished. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that, though. The Los Angeles Times that I worked for in the 80s and the 90s is gone forever, and it's not coming back.
How has the digital world affected your career as a writer?
Oh, no, there's a very good question. In fact, the book that I've just written and published is a great example of how shifting sands in the publishing business has affected me directly. As you know, I started out as an ink-stained wretch back at several other dailies in Southern California before I landed at the LA Times in the late 1970s. And I worked there for almost 15 years. I went on from there to, I left the LA Times to write books in the early 90s, and did a stint at TV Guide and worked part-time for the New York Times for a while when I was in between books. And I've written 10 books now, written and published 10 books. And what's changed, I think, over the course of my career is that the internet and the digital world has overtaken my profession, just as it has overtaken music and video and motion pictures. And we're now on the verge of seeing the collapse of the traditional publishing industry that used to be ruled with an iron fist in Midtown Manhattan. And, I predict within the next 3 to 5 years that grand old dams like Random House and Knopf and Simon & Schuster are going to maybe not dry up and blow away, but they'll have all of the oomph in the industry by the next presidential election that Warner Music, for instance, now has on the music industry. And I don't